4, 3, 2, 1. We're good.
What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. This is our live DFS show for the AT&T Byron Nelson. We're going through the DraftKings model from our website. Links are below. I feel like I'm getting some feedback issues here. We had some issues with the model just leading up to it, but we're live right now. I think we're working through everything. Craig, how's it going? How did the lineup building go for you?
Good. It was a bit of a challenge, obviously. I mean, I think everyone seems to be struggling a little bit this week. The slate is hard. There's kind of a hollow area, I feel like, once you get out of the 9Ks,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, I mean, really, it's from there down. It seems like the pricing is tough to make lineups. This show is sponsored by Doug Gim, actually by his, what is it, his aunt and
Gim,
uncle's
Gim
Gim
Cleaner. Yeah.
cleaners? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, if you're in the Chicago
Yeah.
area, consider taking your dry cleaning in. What's going on?
PY will tell you where,
Yeah,
but
I don't actually
yeah,
know where that is.
Chicago area. What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us live. If you're just watching us for the first time, please hit subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, shows us support, and we really appreciate it. We appreciate all the support. Okay, Craig, are we diving into this? We got some superstars here. It's not just kind of walk into the last week before the PGA. We got some superstars here.
Yeah, unfortunately, the one right at the top of the list decided that he did not want to come, but that's fine.
After backflipping off his boat, his knee was not able to
Yeah,
play this week, but
but it probably made building lineups easier because I would have had to make a tough decision about whether to spread
yeah.
ownership out. Do you want to? I know there were some things you were thinking about. What to do with
Yeah,
Vegas.
general. No, there's some general things first. We'd like to talk about wind first off, or weather.
Yep.
So I'm using the Fairview Lavon Lake, about 10 miles, I think, east of the course. Feel like it's pretty accurate. Thursday looks pretty calm. Pretty calm throughout, a little bit worse in the morning. I'm going to do a round one showdown with a PM stack, maybe 5-1, but mostly PM. But Craig, pardon me, Friday morning, all of a sudden looks like it is harsh wind, up to 22-mile-per-hour gusts. It also has the lowest kind of steady wind, but it's got the highest gusts.
Well, that's concerning.
Yes, it is concerning because I have a lot of guys in the PM AM wave, but I don't like to adjust now. I might add an additional lineup or two where I go AM PM. PM.
It's not gonna. So I mean, I see gusts, but the wind itself is like 6 and 9 miles an hour. Is that what you're
Yeah.
seeing? And then with potential gusts up to, I'm not gonna bother changing anything on that personally.
No, I'm not going to change anything. I might add an additional AM PM PM or what am I trying to say? AM PM lineup in case it is, but
Yeah. The one thing, like, it'll definitely be something I pay attention to once we're closer to. We have more
yeah.
accurate forecast and showdown plays. Like, I think that'll be potentially huge for showdown plays.
Okay, Bryson, John Rahm, Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth is obviously in our pick show for me. John Rahm is in the pick show for you. You're going 80% John Rahm. We don't have to talk about. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going 20, 20, 25. Pretty spread out over here. Jordan Spieth has 25%. We kind of talked about on the pick show, like there didn't seem to be anything wrong. And then as we get to his press conference, we find out that, during his long week off or long time off, he got COVID-19. He's healthy now, but hasn't played in a while. And then news today, he changed his golf ball for the first time in 5 years. So what I thought was a pretty clean, risk-free selection in Jordan Spieth now seems to have a couple question marks.
Yeah, so I actually had Spieth completely removed from my pool, and then because I thought he was going to be very, very chalky,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he still will be, but then I ended up putting him in just because, I mean, his form is so good, and it's not
Yeah.
just, it's ball striking. Like his approach play for the last few months, which on a course that, if the weather cooperates, is going to be a birdie course.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see. Like, Jordan Spieth can go low with the best of them. So I ended up putting him back in, and I gave him significant ownership. So I do have Bryson, Rahm, Spieth. I've got all three at 25% each.
Did you pair much like them together much?
I did a pairing. So each of those three,
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a stack of Rom, Bryson, Rom, Spieth, and then Bryson,
I'm
Spieth.
just looking at that. I don't think I have a Bryson Speed, but I have Rom paired with both of them. So maybe I need to do a Rom balance. I don't know. Uh,
Yeah. Ray, I don't know who is giving us thumbs down. My theory is either someone has been burned on some of our bad picks, or Adam's ex-girlfriends are trolling. Just unhealthy attachment. So the thumbs up definitely help though.
yeah, we need to work on the ratio a little bit because, yeah, thumbs down before we even go live is a little bit of like,
But no, so there's people saying full fade on Spieth. If I did follow through on that, I probably would have kept. Like I think some people are thinking about skipping the top. I would have moved that ownership though to Rahm and Bryson. I do like those top three, and if I decided any one of them, I would keep ownership on them because
yeah.
I think there's a lot of win equity up
I think
top.
I think there is too. I think the lack of a solid tier three almost, because I feel like we got some good players in the 9Ks, for sure, and some guys that can absolutely go out and win this. But
Mhm.
the lack of like a tier three, I mean, we've talked about it on our Discord for a while, like the AKs, and we'll get to it. Um,
It's
it
thin.
is thin. Okay, so that's kind of okay. There's the superstars there, but we
Yeah, after that, I guess probably the one to get into here, Hideki. I have no
okay,
Hideki
okay,
as
okay,
a
okay.
DFS play.
Pause. Time out here. We put out our pick sheet on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at Grandstand Golf if you don't already. Kevin and I fade Hideki. I mean, I saw in his press conference, I'm pretty sure he said that he's kind of using it as a tune-up. You go out, you pick your one and done, and you're throwing it on Hideki, but you have none in DFS.
I have none in DFS. I mean, the DFS, I don't like the price. So this is where this is week 33 for us in the one and done. So we're not talking start of 2021.
Yeah.
We started it in September. So essentially, I could use, who are my only other options? I could use Brooks.
And that's
I could
question marks.
use Yeah, I've already used essentially everyone else anywhere near the top. So it would be going down to, I think Siwoo, I thought somewhat about, but there's just, it's essentially sort of like a defensive. Hideki has the most potential win equity of the guys I
Yeah.
have. I don't think he's a very safe play. Like I don't think if I felt he was a safe top 20, top 10, then I'd probably look at him a little bit in DFS as well. But I mean, I like Berger. I have Berger at 25% too.
Yeah.
So um,
Yeah. Burger's a guy I like.
any ownership that I would potentially give to Hideki, I'd rather have on Berger.
Brent Harris asked, "What are your favorite contests?" I like 3 or 4 winner takes alls. Brent's probably asking the chat, but I do want to. I mean, we haven't talked about it in a while. Craig and I usually talk about a 20 entry max GPP, scale up or scale down on the dollar size depending on the bank roll of that given week. But for the most part, we talk about a 20 max entries. What we're talking about for our percentages and player pools.
Yeah, just big GPPs really.
Yep.
I do more in major weeks. I'm gonna get into a bunch of snake drafts once we get close. I don't want to do it too early because then you get the random withdrawals and things like that.
Yeah.
But I do think major weeks attracts so many people, and I have had good success with them. It's kind of a blend between cash
Yeah.
and GPP, where you're just trying to get 6 of 6s or 5 of 6s through. So I really enjoy the drafting aspect of
Yeah.
it.
And I don't have the best bankroll management, but I usually throw one in the large GBP and maybe sprinkle in a couple others. But that's
So my new strategy, and I actually haven't picked the lineups yet. So all the tickets that you get from
yeah,
DraftKings. So essentially this week, I'm throwing all of those into satellites.
I
So if I
knew
if I
it.
get
I
through
knew
if I get through, then I'll have a million maker play.
man, satellites are so
Linden.
hard.
They are. Linden's going single entry. I totally get
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's tough because I do think that these weeks are potentially the ones where you can sometimes mine gold, but they're also, you can come up empty and be like, why did I waste all this time and money on
Yeah, I mean,
on
I don't want to
you
I don't
know?
want to ramble here too much, but I felt Quail Hollow builds were pretty simple. I had like a very
Mhm.
focused idea of what I want for my players. In this one, I felt scrambling. My player pool is only 27. I'm usually over 30. Like I was having a hard time finding guys. So I got 25, 30% on guys that I have played twice.
So see, I have 30, but I have a whole whack of guys down low that I didn't. Essentially, I would have had to concentrate ownership on people down in the low sevens
Yeah.
and high sixes that I just didn't want to have up in the, well over 20%. But yeah, continuing on, did you say no
No,
burger
I
or
want
yes
to.
burger?
Burger kind of brings me to a conversation. I think there's a lot of unknowns with this week, kind of talking about our builds as well, with the new TPC Craig Ranch. But a lot of what I'm hearing is, off the tee and bombers, again and again and again. And I think to be a little bit different, there might not be much wind Thursday, Friday, but I think it will play a factor Saturday, Sunday. So I did kind of build a couple lineups of like, okay, a burger, Fitzpatrick, Russell Knox, like people don't really want to roster a lot of Russell Knox pre-tournament, but come the weekend when we start getting beat up a little bit, it's not a birdie fest. Those are the kind of guys I like to
Yeah.
have. So yeah, I have 20.
So Fitzpatrick. Oh,
I have
sorry. Go
20%
go
burger.
ahead.
I like burger.
Yeah, I think Berger, I like him. He's just there's to me there's these three guys at the top, and then there's Berger is sort of on an island. I stayed away from Brooks, and that's really just because it's a total question mark.
So
But then
I did build one lineup after my 20, and I got one Brooks in there, kind of a FOMO, but also an AM PM stack. That's how it worked out to Brooks. He's kind of the second to last guy in.
mhm. But then I mean, so I ended up sticking with Zalatoris. But I really tried hard to think about fading him because I think he's going to be extremely popular this week. So I am on him, but I think it could be a good week to look elsewhere, but I just couldn't do it ultimately. If there was any sort of strength in this field, then I would potentially have done it because I think there's so much hometown narrative around him that it just feels like it's going to be the ownership is going to exceed what it potentially should be, but I couldn't do it. So I ended up, I think I'm 20%
I thought you were gonna say
Bulls.
something, and it's so I got 40%. I tried to, I
So I've
scaled
got
back.
80%. Yeah. But no, I went Matt Fitzpatrick. So this is my theory on Matt Fitzpatrick.
Do I get to talk about any of these guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna skip down for a second. Scotty Scheffler, I think, will be the highest owned. I mentioned on our Discord. I think he's gonna be one of the higher owns we've seen in a while. I think it seems like everybody is on Scotty Scheffler. Zalatoris, one of my picks. I love Zalatoris. He is the only guy I have. He's the highest owned guy I have. He's the only one that reached 35%. I like Zalatoris. I like everything about it. I wish his putter was a little bit stronger, but there wasn't really any faults. I mean, get his first win here. Come on, buddy. Do it.
Yeah, would love to see it. So my thinking was I think Zalatoris, I think Scheffler, I think both of those guys have the hometown narrative.
Yeah.
I think Matt Fitzpatrick comes in here with really good form and for him to be priced ninth in this field. I mean, eighth if we take out DJ, it's too cheap to me, and so I don't think we're going to get the ownership bump that to me it feels like we should. So he's my highest owned in the whole slate at 30%.
Nice.
Just because I think that's potentially the spot I saw the most opportunity, I guess I would say.
I got him at
combination of projection and ownership.
I got him at 30% as well. I like the play. Super steady, seems safe. Yeah. With upside.
Sorry, you have one Brooks. Scotty for me is similar to Zalatoris. I think he'll be popular, but I couldn't get away from it. I've got 20 on him. It seems like sort of the last one before we get into the next tier of players at Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, I kind of put the tier at ending at Ryan Palmer. So I got Scotty Scheffler. I'm the same. I'm going to be underweight for sure. I got 10%, two lineups. Again, kind of FOMO. He's streaky, so hedge a little bit. Kind of. That's what I'm thinking there. Sam Burns
on Palmer.
Sorry, no, I got 10% on Scheffler. I got 10% on Burns. I feel like Burns a little bit overlooked. Yeah. I mean, I usually don't say like I play the winner coming off, but he's got a week break. He's been playing well all season. It wasn't just like a singular pop. Those miscuts don't look good, but he had.
I mean, the thing is, when he plays well, he contends. That's why ultimately I faded Burns. I think the price and it's sort of you always talk about the fading guys right when they're at a course they just won on or coming off the win. I just think that the ownership will outpace where I think he should be at that price.
And, yeah, so I mean 10%, not a ton, but yeah, if he pops again.
I mean, if he pops, he can win.
Yeah. But your boy, I mean Ryan Palmer, one of your picks here.
Yeah, so Leash, I faded. I would like to have gotten there because I do think he has win equity, but ultimately at 9,200, I like people below him
Yeah,
more. So
it kind of seemed really expensive to me, if I'm being perfectly honest.
if he was high eights, then I could see it. But yeah, I like Palmer more. And I actually didn't get any Sergio, but that's one of my biggest FOMOs, I think.
Yeah, I got
Um,
20. I got 20 Palmer, 20 Sergio.
so similar 20 Palmer, but then nothing on Sergio. And this is where I'm curious to know where my ownership has gone. Are you 25? How much are you on the top three?
20, 20, 25.
Okay.
Okay, a couple of things in here. Christopher Burnham was asking, do you guys like the stack of Scheffler, Palmer, Spieth, and Champ? Personally, I'm playing three of the four of those guys. I do not. This is getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but I don't have any Champ. But I do feel like the first three kind of Texas boys there is a little bit chalky. So hopefully after Champ,
That would be my one comment is that three of those guys, and even maybe Champ, just because of
yeah.
how sparse that range is.
And if people are playing
Um,
Bombers, they're going to throw in Champ.
yeah. But no, I like at least the first three. Similar to you, I don't have any Champ, but I do have the first three. So I like those. Only issue is ownership.
Yeah, that would be it too. For sure, ownership. And yeah, if it's your first time joining us, we're going to kind of talk about guys as we go. Try to make a mental note here. We got a Schwartz at the very top, and I saw a Kazire Straka, but we'll zip through down there pretty quick here because I think
Well,
AK's.
let's just go real quick to that one because so Straka or Kazire, I'm leaning Straka. I think Kazire. The concern for me has been ball striking. His putter has been absolutely scorching hot, but it looks like
Even his missed cuts
I
weren't
don't
by
know.
much though. Like he's been very
Yeah,
steady.
yeah. I would say Straka. Yeah, I don't know. I lean Straka this week personally.
I
I
have them
think
both.
Kazire is getting a lot of attention down there, and so that would be my other one. But
Do, do,
I think you can make a good argument either way.
do you have both of them?
No, I don't have. I faded Kazire.
I'm. I think I would go Kazire, to be honest. I think I would lean
Okay.
Kazire, but Straka, I actually have more Straka, which is funny. So maybe I changed
Yeah.
since yesterday when I built these.
So Sergio to me is exactly the kind of player you should be playing, but I didn't. His ball striking continues to be good, and the putter is just ice cold.
Yeah. Dan Hoddle is taking Kepka at 85%, physically 85% over the rest at 100%. I think that's fair. He said he's pretty, I think he said everything from 7 iron in, it feels completely natural. It's like his driver, 3 wood, long irons that kind of feel a little bit different. And he can't bend down still, so he's going to be doing something weird on the greens, I'm sure. But man,
Yeah.
I wouldn't discount Brooks out over the next couple weeks.
I tested that theory at the Masters, and that was too early. I think this might be a better time to test it. But I feel like I almost have a harder time with him next week because of how demanding the course will be at the length it's going to be at,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's going to test them physically a lot more, I think, than this one will.
Like even the walking four rounds around there, I think is
Hmm.
going to be. And like if you want to,
Yeah.
I want to see kind of.
But let's not get into next week. Let's keep going on this
Yeah,
week.
that's I can want to
So
test
high
it.
eight case.
I mean, do you want to say how many plays you have overall, and we can kind of.
I have
I
three.
have three as well. Let's talk about them. Who do you got?
You go
Okay, I
first.
got Sergio, my boy Sergio. I got.
Wait, Sergio's nine.
Oh yeah, I messed up my pricing a little bit here.
So you have two.
I don't. Where is Sergio? Sergio's 9. Yeah, I think somehow I did a formula where all my pricing's $100 less. I think I have two. I think I have Thomas.
Can you do you get to use that in DraftKings or no?
I don't think so. I have Thomas. I just went with it. Like I build and then I enter. I got Thomas Peters and I got Matt Kuchar.
Peterson. So I don't have Kuchar. I don't mind the play though because he has been playing decently of late. I have Jason Day.
Yeah, I like it.
I think if you want to play the motivation
U.S.
game,
Open.
he's got some motivation. He needs to find a couple world ranking points here in the next few weeks. And then I have Siwoo Kim, and I actually really like Siwoo Kim. Uh, I don't know why I ended up.
It looks good.
So I have 25% on Siwoo, and it honestly, like, I was trying to actually find ways to bump this a bit higher because to me, this is like the last person I think that has like a very, very legitimate potential and like somewhat safe floor right now.
Yeah, I mean it is funny to think of him as a safe floor play, but recently he's proven that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, sure, he can pop. He when if it is, I mean, that's the other thing too. If it is truly an off the tee, I think Siwoo has can play well here.
I mean, he's just there's an upside with him. When everything clicks for Siwoo, he can win tournaments, even when other people are playing well, you
Yeah.
know. Whereas there's other guys that they kind of need their best, and then they need to make sure that other people don't show up with their best. But yeah, so those, and then I have Peters as well. So those are my three 8K plays.
I
Wise to me, I'm putting in a little bit of a similar bucket to Burns, but less so, where I think he's getting a price bump a little bit. Uh, I mean, there's two. There's the price bump on the win at the Byron Nelson at a different course, and then there's the price bump because he top 10 last week, which it all has bumped him up too much, in my opinion.
way too much. Like I don't know where that price is. And same, I mean, we did a quick PGA Championship preview. His price there kind of surprised me as well. Bad timing with this top 10, I think, to get this bump. But I'm not going there. We got a question from Christopher, I think, about Aaron
The,
Wise.
the one thing with Wise, though, similar to Burns, is that if he plays well, he could win.
Yes,
So
I
like
agree.
we there are people who don't, their best is going to get them maybe a top five, but Wise, because he's so good tee to green
Yeah.
and the putter's such a weakness, if he does have a good week, he can win.
I mean, that's a lot of these guys. That's how I feel about Luke List. That's a little bit Keith Mitchell. That's a lot of these guys. I feel like it's
Hmm.
not well rounded, but their best can beat everyone here, which you can't say that for a lot of the field, I think.
Yeah, Doogie79 asks Zalatoris versus Leash. I'm assuming there's odds. Like I would take Zalatoris if it's straight up. I'm assuming that the odds for Zalatoris are a little worse, so that's where I wouldn't know.
What else do we have here?
Anyone else in the 8Ks you want us to chat about, let us know. Obviously, I've said I've liked Schwartzel for a little while.
Oh, right,
Champ to me,
Schwartzel, yeah.
we just haven't seen his best stuff for a little while. I mean, decent. We're calling decent top 35s now, but that's what concerns me with Champ is he has been doing what he does well. He's been gaining off the tee, and he still kind of hasn't had the results from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, Craig, high sevens.
So I've got. What do we want to do?
So
70.
who? I mean, let's just finish off the AK. Like, so do you have high ownership? I guess I should say I ended up going 30% on Peters. Um, I I'm a huge Peters homer though, but I do feel like when he is at his best, he can play really well. And
So I'm 20 on Jason Day, 25 on Siwoo, and 20 on Peters.
okay, so pretty rounded, well rounded.
Pretty flat,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, high sevens. My boy Taylor Gooch, one of my picks here. I still feel pretty good about it. I have him at 25%. Um, and then hard to kind of pick and choose here. I thought long and hard about Charles Howell. I did get some Ortiz. I did get some Knox. I actually thought about Fowler. Munoz, I think, will be popular. Uline, and then Rosner. Brandon B asked, why isn't Anton Rosner in FanDuel? They just didn't add him. We talked about it on our Discord as well. Someone reached out to FanDuel.
Well, I think is Brandon B. It was Bad B, right? Bad Bob. What is the guy's name in
No,
Discord?
that's Robert Hausner.
Bad Bob.
That's Robert.
Okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, someone was messaging with FanDuel and they basically said, no, it's not happening. But real quick, who is it? Brent Harris here, English the American, or Keith Mitchell, kill Keith Mitchell. So if Harris had a cheaper price point, like if he was in the low eights, I would have gotten there. But I liked Siwoo better. I like Peters better. That's where it was for me. And then Keith Mitchell, I think he has that upside. I don't like the price.
Yeah, I don't have either. I would lean English, but he hasn't been playing. Yeah, it's a tough one.
To me, this is the hard part about this. Like the bottom half of the eights is, I feel like they kind of had to pick people to fill out this range,
Yeah,
but like I don't see a huge difference from there to 7K. Like you could make a good argument that these are just similar players. It's just one of them happened to have a really good week last week, and so all of a sudden they're getting $1,000 bump over
Well,
someone
that's
else.
completely it. I mean, scroll down to, I mean, kind of halfway there. Sorry, back up to the AKs a little bit. But if you had, say, Aaron Wise at the very top, and then, Doug Im, Uline, Rosner, like, would you be really surprised if any of those guys beat Wise? No. Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you just take it, like, zoom out a little bit, yeah, you're right. They need to fill out their salary bracket, and that's what happened.
Yeah. So Ray gets me into mine. So we were talking about high 7Ks. So I do have Gooch, but I also have Norin. I went 25% on Norin. I think we're getting a little bit of a discount still. Like his form has kind of was not great there for a little while. But I think to me it's a bit of a bet on talent play, and so I'm betting on the talent of Alex Norin. And him and Gooch definitely helped to fill, they're the only two players I have between 8,600 and 7,600. So they definitely had ownership fall on
Yeah,
them.
he's an interesting play. He's actually, if you look on Data Golf over the past 6 months in the field, he's positive in every category. So well rounded. We know he's kind of, I think, President Cup team member in the past. I mean, he's a prolific player.
Well, and I think he's been up in the top 30 at least in the
Yeah,
world at points.
hasn't missed too
Um,
many cuts. Just hasn't really popped too much. Yeah, I think it's fine. I didn't get there myself, but I might be regretting that a little bit.
Yeah, I liked it better. Like I think Howell and Ortiz are fine plays. I almost got there on Knox. Howell Ortiz just the recent form concerns me.
Yeah,
His balls. If you look at his recent
approach.
approach
Yeah.
play, yeah, his approach play has just been garbage. And Howell, I'm starting to really struggle with Howell because I feel like there's a decent floor, decent made cut, but I just don't see a ton of upside. Um, and then Knox, if it does get windy, I think he's your killer. But if that's the case and he makes the weekend, then he'll see showdowns for me.
Yeah, a good place to make up there. Yeah, I got a little bit too much on Ortiz. I do. I'm looking at it now. I got too much, but I didn't have much in that range. Kind of makes me want to go back and add some Norn or something, but it's too late now. It's Wednesday night. Just let it ride and move on to the
Yeah,
PGA.
Ortiz. Maybe it's the bounce back week
Or
for
maybe it's a
Ortiz.
bounce back week. Um,
Well, he looked good through what, 2 rounds, or was it just a single round last week?
I think just I forget.
He looked good for a little
Yeah.
while.
Where does that bring us down to? Have
Um,
we talked about Rosner? Do you want to talk?
so I was going to say into the 76s. We've got a question here on John Catlin. We'll be getting there shortly. So 76, I have Rosner obviously, and then Munoz. Once what's his name, Camilo Villegas was out. Munoz got a single lineup. I just didn't want to transfer. I was going to start to get heavy on Rosner. I felt so. I put Munoz in a single
Yeah.
lineup, which is kind of useless because it's going to be underweight. I think he has Texas connections. He went to school there. I don't know if he lives there, but I think there's a bit of a buzz around it being a possible bounce back place for Munoz. So
Yeah, definitely. So I guess with Camille, how much did you have? How much did you have to pivot today?
I had 20%, so I had to find 4 lineups. Munoz got one of them, and then a few of them I kind of did the found other people to move up and
Yeah.
down to make it all
Yeah.
work.
So guys, I have in this range, I actually have quite a lot. I mean, do you want me to rip from, actually, my numbers are wrong. What is Rosner price at? We're
Rosner
in games
76.
at 75.
Yeah.
So 75 to 7,000.
So if we'll just do 76 and then or yeah, I guess just rattle down a healthy way through the 7Ks here.
So I got Gims, Snedeker, EVR, Kazire, Straka, Hoagie, Vegas, Wes Bryant, and Harry Higgs. That rounds up my 7K. So I really I mean, it allows you to get a lot of guys there and a ROM, a lot of guys there and a Bryson, or, a little bit of balance and get a couple guys down
And
there.
sorry, you don't have Munoz,
I don't have Munoz. No, I think he's going to be super.
but you do have Rosner.
Do have some Rosner.
Okay.
Munoz is fine. I think his ownership will be one of the higher guys down here.
Yeah, Gim as well, I think is going to be super highly owned,
He will.
especially
Yeah.
now with Villegas. I think a lot of people would just transfer that directly over, which I was like, oh, should I do this? And I'm like, no, so many people are going to do this exactly. So
So on
I'm
another
actually glad because if I got the news now, that's all I would do. I would probably just put it on to Gim.
on another forum, I this picture was sent of all these reasons not to play Gim. You know, he's been bad strokes and putting for 6 events. He's been this, and one of them was like, you know, he only has one top 10 ever. But in 18 events this year, he also has 7 top 25s. So 40% of the time he's in the top 25. So don't like the top 10 thing is such a cherry picking of stat. 40% of the time he's a top 25 player when we've been playing him for 6,800.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
and that's the other thing is, you know, if it was 4 years into the PGA Tour career, but like really, he got his card, had a little bit of a season before the pandemic, and then
totally.
has had since then. So we've had very little exposure, and he has shown flashes of good play. So,
But
you know,
yeah, very highly
his team
owned.
can't putt. So here, I'll run through mine. I've got quite a few more than you in this range, I think. So, you know, I said Rosner Munoz. I've got Gim, Snedeker, Ryan Moore, Straka, Hoagie, Vegas, Martin Laird. And then I've got 4 guys at 7,000. I've got Wyndham Clark, Tom Lewis, Vincent Whaley, and Harry Hicks.
Yeah, I mean, there we go. We got a question on Clark. What's going on, Devin Davis? Thank you for joining us live. That's a lot to unpack here.
So we've gone a different way. We both have Snedeker, who I actually really like that play. I think he might be. He is. No, he ended up when I had to shuffle things around. I think he ended up at 20%, which is I've got most of these guys are at 10, 20, or 15. But we went different ways with our other guy at 74. So you said you have EVR. I went with Ryan Moore.
Yeah, EVR is just I mean, he's just a drug I can't quit, to be perfectly honest. Like, yeah, I don't know if it's back in the 2018 Euro days and I was waking up early and watching him and he was playing well. So that's stuck in my brain. But I got 25%, I got 30 on Snedeker, I got 25% on EVR. I still just think like his talent is better than what he's showing us
Yeah,
since
I
he came on
agree.
the PGA Tour, and it's super frustrating. But it, I mean, if EVR is clicking, we talk about the bump in Sam Burns. Like if he beat Sam Burns this week, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like, but it just needs to come together at the
Yeah.
like.
I have swung and missed enough times on EVR that I'm gonna
Yeah,
I'm gonna be late on it. I think there might, you know, depending on the price. If he was priced low, you know, low sevens, I felt like, I mean, yeah, I feel like Ryan Moore has somewhat comparable upside, but then a much safer make cut percentage chance, you know,
yeah.
uh, probability. And then 70, so that's where we differ there. 73, you have Kazire. I've just got Straka there.
Let's talk about a
I
little.
think I think Kazire's a good play. I just, you know, you
Yeah,
kind of have to pick and choose.
you got to pick and choose your 8 guys in this range.
Yeah. And then the one other one I think I said I had that you don't. We're both on Hoagie. We're both on Vegas. I went Martin Laird. I think there's a little bit of upside there. I don't really know.
You,
You know, he's
I got my Knox. You got your Laird. Let's see what happens in the
yeah,
win.
yeah.
I like it. A couple things going on here. Devin Davis joined us. Like you said, I'm playing Fowler this week. I don't know why, just a gut feeling. I'm fine with that gut feeling. Play it. I mean,
The
do your thing.
talent. I mean, if you're betting on talent, there's definitely talent there.
Um, John Catlin, did we get there yet?
Oh, John Catlin. Yeah, neither of us have him. My biggest, he is one of the big ownership question marks for me because I feel like I've heard a lot of buzz around him, but it's from like a very inside, you know, like I think there's a lot of inside people who kind of like are trying to be, you know, like I think I heard Rick Rungood talking him up. I think I've heard sort of a few of those people that I think might shift, you know, trend
Yeah,
makers in the industry. So
sure.
I'm curious to know what that'll happen. My concern was that it might outpace where I think it should be. I just stayed away from it. I liked Rosner a lot more at 76 than I liked Catlin at 72, I guess I would say.
Yeah, so Rosner is a lot more steady over the last little bit.
Yeah. And that's ultimately what it was. I think Catlin has had the peaks, but Rosner has had the peaks and has been very steady.
I mean, we do our Euro content. I don't by any means consider myself a European Tour expert, but he's got 3 wins over the past year, which is incredible. Austrian Golf Open, Andaluca
Which was
Masters.
the first one back, I think. Or no, he just won the Austrian.
Just won that.
Yeah.
2 of those are super like approach courses. So if this was like Pebble and small, like yeah, I think that's a fit. But it didn't really make sense. And then he's got a ton of
Well, he has
miscuts.
upside. Like if you've won 3 times on the European Tour, like that, there's the upside there. I just didn't see the safety of a guy coming over and having that upside all hit on his, first tournament we see him over here. That was my real problem.
I'm trying to do some quick math, but he's got 3 wins. Let's call it his last 20 events. He's got 3 wins, but only 5 top 25s. Like, so 3 of those times he's popped for a win. He has an 8 and a.
Yeah, which, I mean, you can also make the argument that's what you need in GPP, but I just want to get a few more 6-6s this week.
Yeah. Okay, that's good, Catlin. Chat.
Yeah, Hoagie, Vegas. I think both of those were picks in the show that we got into there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just in this area where you kind of have to take a stand, but I don't feel good playing Hoagie at 30%, but that's where I am. And Vegas, I feel like, is getting a lot of chatter, so he's going to be popular. I have him at 20%, but again, I don't feel
Vegas
good
is my highest owned guy in this range at 25.
Well, they're going to say period. Yeah, Craig's
pretty close because 30 is my highest owned.
I don't know. I'd have to look at some. Craig got Higo twice, actually. Craig called Higo twice.
The thing that's killing me right now is my sleepers.
Yeah.
I think that might be a thinly veiled shot at me. So 71s. I don't know if anyone wants us to chat about any of those guys. I considered all. Oh, you have Wes Bryan, you said?
Yeah, I got Wes Bryan. Why not? He can
Upside play.
He can birdie them with the best of them. But Vince Whaley is getting a lot. Actually, we had some Shank. Did you consider?
No, I didn't get there on Shank. I do have Whaley. I love these 7Ks, 7 flat. Whaley, Tom Lewis, Wyndham Clark, Harry Higgs.
I saw a great meme from 925 Sports today on Twitter. I liked it. It was like the Hotline Bling thing where it's like Vince Whaley at 6,100, Vince Whaley at 7,000. Like, yeah. Everyone, now that he's like made a few cuts in a row, got some top.
Look at all these cuts, man. Look at all these cuts. I mean, he's got a hot putter right now. He's got a hot putter and he's got a decent driver, which to me, that's a good way to make cuts. So if he keeps that up, like ultimately, I was looking for cut makers here, and then I was looking for guys with upside and trying to mix and match as best I could. But yeah, I like Vince Whaley. I mean, 7K this week also, we're talking about guys who are usually mid-6s, I would say, just based on the depth of the field here.
Yeah. Ponder, bolt up. I just realized I got kind of a lot of lightning bolts in the background here. That's Schottenheimer and Flutie right there. Schottenheimer and Flutie.
Tom Lewis, more of an upside play. Same with Wyndham Clark. I think both those guys have decent upside at 7K. And then Harry Higgs, big
upside,
beauty.
Big beauty. Got 25% there. I would be a little bit concerned with Clark's ownership. That'd be
I think there's been a lot of chatter.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay, let's drop into some 6s, I guess. This week's. I mean, got PGA.
Thanks a lot, Lindo. If you're taking off, PGA content will be coming hard and fast here.
Yeah, expect a little bit of something every day. We're gonna send it out there for everybody. Man, like, not that you.
How many 6Ks do you got?
I got 3.
3? Do you wanna give them here?
Bryce Garnett.
Yep.
Chris Ventura. Aaron Baddeley.
Chris Ventura is way down there, isn't
64. Or that's on mine.
Yeah, 64. And Baddeley. Oh, you love your.
Yeah, man.
63.
Putters. Let's go putters. Putters in the win.
Yeah. So I have 4, but mine are not as bold. I got KH Lee at 69. I also have Bryce Garnett at 69. I went with Roger Sloan again. He's been making some cuts, missing some cuts. Seems to be missing the weeks I play him. And then my low play of the week Bronson Burgoon.
Burgoon.
Yeah, he's a Texas native, so riding the narrative.
Hey, I like
He
it.
has had some decent results, so we'll see.
I like
I
it.
needed someone to be able to plug in some of those, the Bryson Rom stacks.
This is a good point to, I mean, talk through some questions, either ors if you guys want to. We got 1 in 16K range, Anaban Lahiri or Will Gordon. Um, I think we'll see a little. I've heard a little bit of Lahiri talk. I think Will
I
Gordon.
almost got there in Lahiri. Ultimately, he has upside. It's this miscuts that kill me.
You know what? I've played him a bit more in Showdown. I think his approach play has been pretty good. I would go Lahiri, but Gordon can push it out there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Gordon, the problem I have with Gordon is he seems like because he gains with his driver, he always attracts a bit of ownership.
Yeah, yeah,
Usually like he's down at 63 or something, and no one else is down there. He's the only one that has a chance to be relevant down there. But if I was just straight up choosing who I think is going to finish higher, I'd probably go Will Gordon. But yeah, I mean, everything's a roll of the dice down here.
it's a crapshoot for sure. I thought there was another one. Um,
So
how much
Rob
really?
Hauser said Bramlett. That was one I almost got to. Oh, Sun King, I think is one we should chat about. He's getting a lot of chatter, obviously, this week. He's the defending champ. I just couldn't get there. I mean, his play's been so bad.
Look at his strokes gained total for 2021. It is the darkest, deepest red I've seen in a long time. Like,
So he won last year in 2019 on the other course, but he is also a member at TPC Craig Ranch. So I think those, like, to me, the ownership that he is still going to carry at 65 kind of negates the upside that is
yeah.
potentially there. So I've just decided to stay away from it.
Oh yeah, Revoke said Hostler. Let's talk about Bo Hostler a little bit, right below. I think a good pivot from Sun Kang.
Bo Hostler is like one of those guys that you randomly see show up on, top
Yeah, because he'll
top
get like
5,
4
top
birdies in a row.
10 after a day or after 2 days, and then you're like, oh man, like why did I roster Bo Hostler this week? And then like you see that like come the end of the week, he's not even close, and it's like, oh right, that was why. But he definitely,
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, this field's so weak that this is where I think it's so flat that these are the weeks where these guys all have like really good chances to get top tens. We're gonna have someone. I'd be shocked. We will have someone I think from the 6Ks in a top 10. So it's a matter of who is that going to be. And there's a lot of people down here. You're trying to pick the gem out of there.
Yeah, I would play Hostler over Kang. I mean, Robert, if Kang wins, I will crap.
James Hahn is someone who I think 7,100. I almost got there. He has a good history at the course as well.
Yep.
He was, I think 2012 was it? He was the runner up at the nationwide tour championship.
Right. Or 08, one of the two.
Yeah. So I don't mind the hand play. I just didn't get there myself.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with him is we have seen that flash at Waste Management. So it's not a top 10 wouldn't be completely shocking.
I also saw a highlight. I think it might have been on Twitter. It might have been the PGA Tour account on Twitter. He had to hole out to get into a playoff. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
And he
did.
spun it back and lift out. I love that. So rarely do those you need to hole out, and then it's like, oh, like you hit it to 3 feet, pretty good. And that was like, man, that thing had a shot.
Yeah. I think we're nearing the end here. Throw any more questions you want. Hit that thumbs up, guys. It really does mean a lot. We do have a lot of PGA content coming out, but of course, we're going to do our showdowns every single night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. For this one, what else do we got here?
So KH Lee is my biggest flag plant here.
Really?
20%. It's just I don't know. I gotta find salary somewhere. No, Rob Hauser. I think there is a potential upside with King. It's just I didn't go there myself.
I never said my percentages. I got Bryce Garnett at 15%. I got Chris Ventura at 20%. I just like his upside. I got Aaron Baddeley at 10%. So I'm not going crazy. I mean, I don't I don't feel confident about any of these guys really, but I'm playing some.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, see, Rob Hauser's on the cage, Lee, with me. I think that probably does it for us there. I don't see any other questions rolling in.
Yeah, a little bit of a quicker one tonight. But
Got to
yeah, we
save some
will
room for next week.
got to save some room for next week. Yeah,
Yep.
let's get after
Good
it.
luck this
We'll
week.
see you in Discord. Link is below if you want to come join us and chat during the tournament. And yeah, we will see you, most of you, again on our showdown.
Yeah, make sure you pivot, get Siwoo Kim in there. I think that's the dark horse other flag plant of the week.
See you, Kim. Okay, I might have to go back and make one.
Yeah.
Might have to do it.
All right, take care, guys. See you next time.